Yeah, good night. This is the Cutting Edge and I FM there with you. May I tell you, yes, the other day they found with. Seems as if anytime the other day part of my program, feel it. Yes, we're there with you. May I tell you. But the thing get busy. Everywhere get busy, may I tell you. Yeah, remember, I said this is the Cutting Edge. This is the Cutting Edge. Yes, I hope you're still there with me, because I'm still there. So we like Stephen Marley a while ago, chase them politicians, and then now we say, from one Marley to the next Marley. This is the Cutting Edge, we're there in the holiday season, and while we see the people them are going, I tell you, man, it's like tomorrow no day. The people them are going, enough money are run around the place, and all the bank of Jamaica. I forgot to tell, I forgot to figure, I didn't have the information how much money is in circulation during this holiday, yeah. But we see a big news are going on so now with Donald Trump. Donald Trump pull out the American them out of Syria. Yeah, this war we are going how much years and now. Russia did take Syria side. They did have, what them call them, ISIL. ISIL is a terrible thing, because I said this before, so from Donald Trump going, we don't hear nothing about them. From Donald Trump coming up power, we don't hear nothing about ISIL or ISIS or whatever them name, a terrorist group, where they chop off man head and all them something there. But we say, he might go move out American troops out of Syria. So you say that another war was necessary, we kill a whole heap of people, we a whole heap of people dead because American intervention was supposed to bring stability to the region. And when we say up now that the man who them go there if you go overthrow still there in power. Yeah. Assad still there. The man who supposed to go overthrow. Him still there with all the argument about him have to go. Because him kill almost thousands of people. Him still there. And America have to come out. And the Russian take the side of them and bomb up ISIL. America bomb up ISIL. So I don't know. It just weird to me that 2 years now, we don't hear nothing more about ISIS. We don't hear about nobody had chop up nobody. We don't hear about no, what them call it, terrorist attack. Maybe me attack too quick, you see, but it's weird. And then we see, really and truly now, a big thing are going on in the hotel industry where the tourists them are ball out about them are get raped and abused by Jamaican workers in a hotel. I say last week already, and I'm serious about it. A whole heap of them white tourists women will come to Jamaica, yeah. Whether them come with them man or come with their husband or whatsoever them come with. It's like a piece of action, them a look from a Jamaican man, All this them a go on. Them love the big bamboo. I can't to them the big bamboo. And them a ball out because them skin to them can't get some money off of the hotel now. I mean, I said some of them not true, but it's just ironical. It's like when the woman them start ball out in America, say, man, I touch them. Some big executive I touch them. All of a sudden, you see a whole heap of woman I come out of the bush say, yeah, they touch me when I was 10. And when they touch me when I was 40. And all them really. With Bill Cosby, the same thing. With Bill Cosby, the same thing. With Donald Trump, the same thing with the world. As one, somebody come out, so you a whole heap of people start to come out and look money. And we see that I go on now. We see a whole heap of women that come on and talk about they must rape, they must this, they must that. By some worker in the hotel. And me you see in our hotel down at Negril Beach Village, near Negril Beach Village, named Hedonism now. Nigel Beach Village, me spend, what, 4 years. 4 years in that hotel there every weekend. Every weekend, my elder daughter almost grew up in another place there. Every weekend we're down there. And the things that me say, just I sit down there. I do my little knitting, because knit we used to knit when we go down there. And the things that me see, where these white women go on with not only the work of them, but man with them bring in at night time. And that are go on for years. Years. This one we are here about where this butler would work with Sandals, where them want sue Sandals for how much money you know. It's a kind of strange story. A weird story where the butler go in the room for go deliver something. The woman lay down on the bed. The husband gone in the bathroom. Big bathroom. Big bedroom. The butler apparently was designated to deal with this specific. Because, you know, some of them butler there, them get designated for deal with certain guests. You know, like me remember, even on the boat, where we were on the ship the other day, one man have a whole deck for himself. Like one of the man, them just look after them set of people there. Him not go upstairs and him not go downstairs. Him just dip on the floor there and him just deal with that. Well, apparently this butler deliver something in the room. And this is from Bahamas. Bahamas, it happened. Sandals in Bahamas. And apparently the butler, when the butler delivered something in the room, the woman and her husband in the room too, you know. But her husband in the bathroom. Now, I can't do what the butler say, because the butler start to talk out now. I can't do what the butler say. Because it come over American news and all them places there, you know, all the American ABC and this and that carry the news. So, oh, tourists are get raped in a hotel and all them. Anyway, apparently she asked the butler, thank him, you know, and for hug her. So him hug her. The man, the husband come out of the bathroom and see the man hug up his wife. And him not say nothing, you know. Because apparently it look like just a little social thing, you know. Okay, thank you very much for, you know, helping us for the whole time we are here, and, you know, I'm really feeling good, and I'll come back to Jamaica again, and, you know, this and that, and the butler come out of the house. They come over here to the butler, that finger little man. Light them a tell upon the man, you know. Like Jamaica, Bahamas. Little more, imagine the husband in the room. The wife dead there, and little more, them ball out, say, the man did a finger up, feel her up. I mean, I say, no, how that possible? You mean see a butler in a room with a couple, and the husband come out of the bathroom and see the man hug up his wife, and him not make no alarm about nothing. Him not say, hey, wait, this is where I go on here, so. And she ball out, say the man did hold a finger up, a feel her up and all them something there. Inappropriate touching thing. So Sandals in a problem, and them want so much millions of dollars them are trying to get up at Sandals. But that's the way these American people stay. Especially these white women. Them always come out of the bush about something where them feel them can collect off, and then now put your reputation in a turmoil. So them fire the brother. Them fire the brother. And now Sandal have to try to defend themselves now. Because them have other people who are come out now and say, yeah, when them dead there, this and this happen and that happen. And me know, I mean, I said some of them not happening, you know, but me know when these people come to Jamaica, it's like them have a different thinking because them say the sun has shine. Where them a come from, the sun has shine. Them see turquoise beach. When them not see that. Them see the big black bamboo man, the man. Them see the renter dread. Them see all sort of people where it just amazes them. Them go hear the good old reggae music and them just engulf themselves in the whole ambience and lose themselves. And you know, say them really want to experience, because some of them when them go out, when them to America, them not there in a city, them not there in an area with no black people there. So when them come to Jamaica, them see the majority of people are here so black. Especially when them look at the man them, especially some of the man them who work at the hotel. Especially the man them who work at the kitchen. I tell you, jackass in the world on level, you know. Jackass in the world on level, believe you me. Some harassment. When me see Rasta get on the beach from tourists. And it's not like the Rasta no want to talk to the tourists, you know, but you afraid say police see him talk to the tourists and then say harass him. He might try to walk them up, but you might say them little thing and them always look for ganj from the Rasta. Them always look for ganj. Hey, Rasta, you got a ganj? And them go in their room and smoke it. And now me see it's a major thing now where them start to ball out. Them a ball out, say them a get raped. Me don't understand. One day, one of them get shot on ya. Two women are staying in a room and it look like him run going there. Me don't know how them think they possible, you know. Me don't know how them think they possible. A man work in a hotel. And him a go in a with two women there for go rape them. So what me expect to happen? Him really expect to get away with that? Or maybe it never happen like how them say it happen. Because some of them women they're daring, you know, and bold, you know. I mean, I tell all of the man them who are working at them hotel industry there, you know, watch yourself, you know. Because these white women, if them ask, you check if you have something like, you know, give them it, you know. Them start to shout rape. Them start to shout wolf. Because them demand that. Them depart holiday and them feel say anything goes. And if them not get what them want, them going to shout out. And a woolly pa that a go on, you know. Woolly pa that a go on. And I put a little stinge on the hotel and the Caribbean people them. And you have some youth, you know, where in the hotel now, them take them little streetways and carry going at the hotel industry and believe it's the same thing. Because I'm say a white woman now and the white woman look easy. Him feel say him can't go check out. The other day, last year, an artist get thumbed down, literally thumbed down in a hotel lobby. An artist I look the white woman, the woman. And the man come in and see him and do it and thump him down in the lobby. Well-known, popular artist, too popular, can't popular no more, where all the woman then love him. Thump him down in the hotel lobby. Because he might get fresh with the woman. But that is the way how the cookie crumbles as on now. So, watch on yourself now, watch on yourself. Or who work in a hotel and all them way there. You go to clean out the room and hear the woman start ball out rape. And you have some of them man I love give the white woman them argument to, you know, like say them are some Napoleon or some Casanova. I will buy them feet to them. I will buy them man who work out tell feet to them a Casanova. And them feet say, boy, them have everything. Big bamboo, cane, all sort of thing. You know, and them have a lollipop too. Them feet say, everybody want cane, bamboo, lollipop, suck. Remember that suck thing, they were ice, or you suck it till it melt. Yeah, you used to buy it. You put syrup with water in the freezer. In the which part you put the ice. You put the syrup in the water and put it in the, and then when you're ready to get something sweet, you take out one take out of the tray them and broke it, and you know everybody put no water upon it and you don't suck it. And the more you suck it, the more it melts in your mouth. You must watch on that though. Watch on that though, especially now because things change. Things and times change as well now, especially now. Terrible time now. You have some rats, me I tell you. I don't even know if I rats them, you know, rats them what. I don't know where them is, you know, rasta. When you see them on the beach, you know, with the white woman them, you know. Me I tell you, man, I never want to shake them, man, you know. I never want to shake them, man, you know, because some things I see them go out with. And me I talk about years ago when me used to go on English Beach Village. And when you see them on the road, them a ball out, Jah Rastafari right here, like your people say, hey, move your, what's it, and go. You just feel vexed, you understand? But, anyway, the cookie crumble all the time. Cutting edge. We're there with you. Advertisement full up the program, but we are working it. Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Pat Clark, Jamaica Roots and Culture.
Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm Pat Clark. Grand Market, or Grand Market as we call it in Jamaica, is the biggest shopping event of the entire year. It is normally held on Christmas Eve and is one of the most anticipated events of the Christmas season. This is the one day of the year when many streets are closed to allow for vending and all vendors come out in a festive mood. It is almost like a community fair characterized by food and ground provisions of all types, toys, everything you could want from a pin to an anchor is out on the street for sale. There's also street dancing, entertainment shows, and lots of festive music. Grand Market is held in all major towns and cities across Jamaica on Christmas Eve and goes on into the early hours of Christmas Day. As the name suggests, it is a grand affair which brings buyers and sellers together for last-minute shopping. This festive event involves vendors selling their wares on crowded streets that are closed to vehicular traffic but open to impromptu dancing, as there's usually music to which people can dance as they shop. In the past, the weekend before Christmas, and particularly on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, markets all over the island were awash with vendors selling small toys, firecrackers, balloons, and sweets of all kinds. Pinda or peanut cakes, grater cakes, and peppermint sticks. Oranges and even American apples were distinctive features of grand markets. Sorrel, chocolate tea, and coffee flowed, as did the Christmas carols and a merry banter between the vendors and the customers. On Grand Market Day, some markets were decorated with streamers, large accordion-style bells, and balloons. Many people were decked out in fancy clothes, including bright hats purchased upon entering the Grand Market. Everyone came to town for Grand Market, and the celebration lasted throughout the day and well into the next morning. The Grand Market tradition is one that has become an integral feature of Jamaican Christmases and is certainly here to stay. And now, to end Jamaican Roots and Culture, here's our famous quotation from the Black diaspora. It is impossible to pretend that you are not heir to and therefore, however, inadequately or unwillingly responsible to and for the time and place that gave you life. The words of James Baldwin. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
Yes, Grand Market, man. I remember I almost beat me get because me used to leave the yard and go down at King Street. Them days the King Street was buzzing, man. Yeah, buzzing. The whole parade, as a matter of fact, was buzzing. New Year's, Christmas Eve night. May I tell you, man, it's like, wow. Times Store. I mean, Nathan's, Issa. I mean, all of them places there. Buzzing. Okay. We're going to play this. Listen.
The image of a white Jesus has been used to justify enslavement, conquest, colonialism, the genocide of indigenous peoples. There are literally millions of human beings whose lives have been snuffed out by people who conquered under the banner of a white god. That is a far more significant problem than whether a black writer in 2013 suggests somewhat humorously, but perhaps seriously, that we should change Santa to a penguin. No one's going to die because of that iconography. The white Jesus, white God imagery has literally resulted in death. That's something folks ought to deal with. What Megyn Kelly said was very simply, quote, Santa is white, end of quote, and so is Jesus. So I think the real issue is, if you want to make a joke about Santa's whiteness, here's a way to do it that would not presume white normalcy or that white is the norm. You could say, for instance, and I would, that if there were Santa, he'd have to be white because no black man could break into millions of homes, even if he was bearing presents, and not be shot by some neighborhood watch captain. That's a way to be funny, but Fox News would never do that because that would presume that they had to admit racial profiling and racism were real. So there's that. I think the real issue is that she made a statement of fact, not for her own opinion, but fact. There's a difference between believing in Santa and believing in Jesus or the Buddha. Buddha did not come from Kansas. Jesus was not born in a manger in central Pennsylvania. He was a man of color. And the fact that we have represented him for centuries, literally as a white man, speaks to the entire history of white supremacy. We can act like it didn't happen. We can make it the punchline of a joke, but the reality is this iconography, Jesus more so than Santa, I agree with Mel here, Jesus more so than Santa is a real problem. There's a reason we've represented these icons as white. It's not a coincidence that we've done that.
Okay, do you think there's something inherently wrong? I understand you saying that a white Jesus has been used to do horrible things, but
here's the difference, and Reza is right. No, Reza's right, but the difference is that the power of others to make Jesus or to make Christ as they view him has never come close to the power of the European power to make Jesus white. In other words, black folks can think Jesus is black and view Christ as black, but at the end of the day, the image that has been used to dominate Christianity in this world and on this planet is the white image. So therefore, you can believe, you can think Jesus looks like whatever you want or that Christ looks like whatever you want. Ultimately, though, there is such a thing as power, and it's not equitable. And so if certain people have been able to impose their image of the Christ, of the Savior on others, or God, or Adam and Eve, the first human beings ostensibly as white people, to believe that that doesn't have an effect is to believe that advertising doesn't have an effect. It's to believe that companies that spend billions of dollars don't actually sell you stuff based on the images they use, which is nonsense.
This is the Culture Edge on RFM. There was as weird as it might sound, there was a time when Christmas was banned in America, Yes. There was a time Christmas was banned in America. Just like there was a time in America where you had to plant ganja. Things and times change, but people celebrate. We have a saying that we always say, and what I say is that right now, the things them that you believe was taught to you by people who believe them know. The things that you believe was taught to you by people who believe them know. You see this belief thing? Because right now, if you check the majority of people in Jamaica right now about Christmas, the only thing them can tell you about Christmas is that Jesus born the 25th of December. And the next thing is a time for give, is a time of giving and family thing and thing. But deep within the culture, the cultural expression is a white lining. And we can understand and see that but with kind of blind right to it. Because he says a white thing, you know, but who cares, really? It brings joy and children feel good and, you know, gift and toys and cake and all them things there. So people, the idea of the things overshadow what it really represents in its totality. And people, Christians go to church and, you know, them keep saying it. Jesus born on the 25th of December. And it's Rome give them this idea. And then the Roman Catholic priest will tell you, so we never tell nobody say Jesus born on the 25th of December. We are celebrating his birthday on the 25th is that he was born, but we never tell you say him was born on the 25th of December. Because them know that the 25th of December was celebrated long before this idea of Jesus came about. Long before. Because it is an idea. It has nothing to do with reality. But you can't tell certain people that. Because they will tell you, say, well, see, you know, I'm gone by the madness and mad, I get mad now. But how much away, especially Christians, ever really sit back and think on all the things them where you believe in and reflect on the absurdity of them. Because if I tell, I go in front of some people and tell them, say, there's nowhere in the Bible that say 3 wise men go visit Jesus. Nowhere in the Bible tell you that. It never mentioned no number. But the imagery that is projected is 3 men on a donkey. 3 men on a camel. A follow star. Which is amazing. Them a follow a star. In other words, them see a star in the sky, you know. This is weird. This is weird and this is deep. When you really reflect back on it. It's like a man a drive a car and see the star. I'm say a rainbow. And him decides, boy, I'm going to follow the end to the end of the rainbow. I'm going to follow this star. And the story is that the star stopped right over the stable. Where the stable, where the animal them there, the place where the animal them there. The star was standing up right over that place. What kind of star is that? What is it that compels us to believe that 3 people have followed a star? The nearest star to the earth is the sun. The nearest star to the earth is the sun. But here comes 3 men a follow a star, and the star lead them right over a building where this little baby, which is in a state, which is in an animal place, where only put animal there, that this baby did lie down in this table, in this, which part, the mother there. Who gave us those images that is imprinted in our subconsciousness? Because we believe it, we will fight people for it. Or we will curse people. People will curse me because me I question the whole idea of the madness that really and truly, nowhere in the Bible not tell you about no 3 star, 3 man. Where we get the 3 man from? Because white people give it that. Them paint a picture of 3 man on a camel and say these 3 men go and give 3 different kind of gifts. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now 5 man cannot carry gold, 10 man cannot carry myrrh. Frankincense was nothing at them time because at them days frankincense was like gold. But them paint the picture. Just like how them paint egg, Easter egg, bunny, like the rabbit have egg. You know, I mean, like a purple egg. Them things they imprinted in our subconsciousness. And all it come from Europe. All of it come from Europe. So how did they get us as a people domiciled on these farmer slave plantation island to imprint that in our subconscious to the point where there is no other reference point at this time? There's no other reference point. In other words, we cannot refer to nothing in our subconsciousness and in our consciousness that derail this thinking. There's nothing that we can think now that makes any sense to oppose what is in our thinking about this idea of Christmas. Nothing. Because first of all, people will say, so what you have to offer if it's not Christmas? What is the alternative? Why we need an alternative to something that is a lie, that don't go so, that rob we of our hard-earned money, that tell children lie, that Santa bring present for them when the parents buy the present, and then them turn around and say, speak the truth, speak it ever, cause it what it will. He who hide the wrong, he does do the wrong thing still. And them take the present where them buy for them picnic and put it on a tree where it grow, how much years it'll take for grow. Chop down the tree, put it in the mouse for almost 2 weeks. Put some things on it, put a gift on it where them buy, where them hard earn money. And then tell it it's a big belly, fat, obese, white man bring this thing up for your picnic. There's no other reference point because we feel, say, if them come with something, we must have an opposing thing to it. Or else it don't make no sense to talk against something. People have the argument there. People have the argument about Valentine's Day. All right, so what you have to put in place at Valentine's Day? Why you need to put something in place at Valentine's Day? It's them come up with Valentine's Day. We don't need to have something to oppose Valentine's Day. Because we realize what Valentine's Day represent. We realize what Christmas represent. Christmas represent white supremacy. It maintains white supremacy continuously. And the Christian mindset is that this thing is real. Nothing don't go so. It coming out of the minds of men. Nothing don't go so about a baby born in a stable and them take it. First of all, the premise of the story. Because if the story is wrong in the beginning, it can't write in at the end. The story cannot write in at the end if it is wrong in at the beginning. The story is that the Herod, or whosoever was the prime minister, the president, or the king representative of Rome, decides that he go register the people them. So they go move from one place to the next place. Them say him is born in a Bethlehem, but them tell you about Nazareth. There was no Nazareth. There's no geographical place named Nazareth before Jesus born. I wonder if you hear me say. Me say, there was no geographical place named Nazareth before Jesus born. So they say Jesus of Nazareth. It sounds like him come from there. But them say born in a Bethlehem. Now the place where Joseph and Jesus, Joseph and Mary was, in order to go to the place where they're supposed to register, them say everybody must register at that place. The distance for travel they saw is almost nearly 100 miles. This woman is 9 months pregnant. This little girl. Because I called to them, she was like about 14, 15-year-old. So this little 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl pregnant. And her man put her upon a donkey for travel almost 100 miles. And it's not asphalt road. For go so-called register. Nothing don't go so. It don't go that way. It's just because we're not thinking. We don't think about it. Because it just come to it from people who believe them know. And we regurgitate it because we believe we know too. So the continuous the craziness continue centuries by people who believe them know. The people them who create the story know say nothing don't go so. There was no 3 man who visit nobody. It's them paint that picture they put in front of it. Because nowhere in the Bible not say it about 3 wise men. Nowhere in the Bible not mention 3 wise men. And it's the Bible them I use for guide the story. And for perpetuate the lie. And continuously make you believe that something happened when not never happened. And if you don't believe that, something wrong with you, and you must find an alternative to that. If since it's not so go, why the hell we need an alternative to Christmas? Why we need an alternative to where Europeans do? Because the children are going to get left out. And we know it's not going to say, you know, but guess what? We're afraid to think. We're afraid to think about it. Because if you're going at the realms of thinking, using your brains, if you're going at that, you start to feel almost like guilty. And say, wait, where you think that? When I think that for? My mother come say that. My grandmother come say that. So when me watch it, then that's the thing I go. You keep repeating a lie, and eventually that lie is seen as something truthful. Why them tell you that Jesus born on the 25th of December? When you can go down the line and see that most mythological saviors was born the 25th of December. If you check Buddha, if you check Krishna, if you check all of them have a history of the 25th of December. How is that possible? How is that possible? Yet the Christian not believe in a Buddha, the Buddhists not believe in a Jesus, and it go down the line. Why is it that black people, if you tell about Oladum, Oladumare, if you tell them about Yoruba, if you tell them about the Orishas, them skin up them face pan it. Them skin up them face pan it because all of these African representation of nature and life is given human characteristics. Even the Egyptians give human characteristics. I mean, animal characteristics to human being. So when you look on the pyramids, them and you see the man with an ark, a man head of an ark instead of a human being, or so. It's a symbolism. It has nothing to do with devil worship. It has nothing to do with evil. It's a representation. We keep saying it. When a woman says man a dog, she's not saying that the man walk with 4 foot and go whoa, whoa. But his ways, sexual exploits, going here and there is like a dog. So you use it, instead of use it as a simile, you use it as a metaphor. Man a dog. And in that way, if you was to draw, if you was to show the man in his sexual exploit, you'd have him with a body of a man, but the head of a dog. It's not wickedness, it's not devil thing. It's just understanding the nature of the human being, the character of the human being, the mindset of the human being. And that is what the Egyptian them, that is what the African them in West Africa was investigating. Him not tell you about no devil, nothing like that, because in them days, devil no exists. Even in the Bible, we see say God, the devil no exists in the Old Testament, no devil no in the Old Testament. And one place them talk about Satan in the way down Job, way up so. If you look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, sorry, not Matthew, Mark, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. No devil no talk about them, no mention no devil, because everything good, them give to Yahweh. Everything bad, them give to Yahweh. It's Yahweh cause famine. It's Yahweh cause flood. It's Yahweh cause earthquake and destroy Sodom, destroy Gomorrah. It's Yahweh do all these things. The devil no exists. Christians create the devil. Because they want an alternative to God. Yet still, even the Bible tells us that there's more than one God. Because even God said, thou shalt have no other God but before me. So if God will tell you, say, thou shalt have no other God, that means that more God it exists, but him don't want to because him is a jealous God. And if you go to any other God, it's fornication, and it's adultery, and him going to kill you. So the Christian mindset is that it don't allow you to think, it don't allow you to investigate things that you were taught when you was a child, or things that you were taught when you're going to big school and big seminary and all these religious places. It is a lie. It is a lie. And it perpetuates itself up to this day because really and truly there is a history behind Christmas that is not taught in the church unless you come from outside of the Roman Catholic Church. People start to tell you these things. Like 70 or Jehovah's Witnesses, them not celebrate Christmas because this and because that. And them know why them don't celebrate it. But the majority of people in the Western world celebrate Christmas and believe in them heart of heart. So there was a man named Jesus Christ who was born on the 25th of December from a virgin young girl and a carpenter by the name of Joseph, and 3 men them go visit him and a fall a star, and star fall right over the house where him depend. It's a lie, nothing don't go so. Anyway, this is the cutting edge. We're going to come back to it. This is the cutting edge. The time is 12 o'clock. You know, if you ask the normal person out on the road there about the other man's story, them tell you about a fruit, and if you be honest with yourself, when you think about that fruit, it's an American apple you think about. How them get you if you do that? How them get you if you believe in our subconsciousness that there was 2 people in a yard with that snake wrapped around the tree, and this is an apple tree, and it's American apple. How them get you if you think that? And we now question it, you know, because it's in the Bible. So from in the Bible, and not in the Bible, not go son either. The Bible not tell you about no American apple. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But how them get you to paint that picture there, you know, with subconsciousness? If you close your eye and think on the tree, we think on an American apple tree. If you close your eye and think on the nativity scene with the man them who go visit gold, frankincense, and myrrh, it's 3 wise men them say. If you think on the Last Supper, you think on Leonardo da Vinci painting, how them get to if you do that? And it can't come out away. Them get to if you think that there was a man sitting down at a table with 12 men, and a broke bread and a drink wine, and said this is the Last Supper. No go so. How them get to if you do that? How them get to if you think that? How them get to if you put that imagery in our thinking? That for years we have a picture upon the wall. A wall. Where distinctively look like a European. It not look like an Arab. It not look like a black man. It not look like a Chinaman. And give him the place where I'm supposed to be born. There's no way the man could have looked like that. And the only way him could look like that if he was a Roman in his own self or a Greek. How them get to say, close your eye and pray and conjure up that white man image in our consciousness and make it stay there. That we will die for that. We can't believe nothing else out of that. And then, you know, we so want to accept that. That we start to think, say, the man black. So we start to figure out now, how can we transform this white man into a black man? how can we transform the three wise men into something else? And a star stand up over a house. And year in, year out, the people them get caught with it. But guess what? A whole heap of people are waking to it now. A whole heap of people is awakening to it. And the same Europeans them who give with that story is now facilitating the renaissance of the understanding of how these stories started and why they must started and who started them. And the intention was not to facilitate a human being in all of that story. It was not intended to do that. Just like how you will get certain things from Egypt, them called Kemet. When we say the stories coming out of Kemet, ancient Kemet, where we call Egypt, how we interpret those stories now was not the intention of the writers and the people them who create the story. It was not the intention to interpret it that way, because they must deal with a different time, a different environment, different culture, and a different mindset. But as it goes down and down and down, depending on who have the story and who can reprint the story and who can use the story to facilitate them power base, power structure, them fashion the story and make the story them. In other words, them cut off them foot and make it fit the shoes. Them cut off them foot and make it fit the shoes. And now we as African people start to become designer shoes. How them get to follow that? How them get to follow that? How them get to singing songs where white people write and praise a man where he's a white man, and then buy things to facilitate the festive season from white people. And all of the imagery, all of the stories that surround this event is created by the people them who enslave you. All of these stories about Christmas and Easter was given to us by people who enslave us. And we not question that. Why you think say a man I go give you these stories and him enslave you and give you these stories for free you? It's not going to free you, it's going to make you go more and more into where he wants you to go. Subservient. Powerful people will never educate powerless people in what it means to take the power away from them. Because the aim of powerful people is to stay powerful by any means necessary. John Henry Clark. Powerful people will never educate powerless people in what it means to take the power away from them. Because the aim of powerful people is to stay powerful by any means necessary. So when we come with something else, like, for instance, Rasta say, Haile Selassie, there's no need to equate it with Jesus. There's no need to do that. Because that is what the trap there. Because we have our perception and ideas and concepts of God long before the European them come with them Jewish thinking and them Christian thinking and all of this thinking. We have our own concept. But now we reach a stage now where if we don't facilitate European mindset, we can't go in our own logics. So Rastaman who say, Haile Selassie, he must acquaint it now with Jesus and still perpetuate the same white supremacist mentality. When did I try to come out in the first place? So I'm starting to tell us, people are telling us Haile Selassie did upon cross and Haile Selassie did feed 5,000 people with fish and all that. What kind of craziness is that? And somehow we don't even want to evolve. We don't even want to evolve because we have to use those stories to validate our experience. Why do we need to use their story to validate our experience? Why we need an alternative to Easter? Why we need an alternative to Valentine's Day? Why we need alternatives when we have our thing? All we have to do is go forward. When them say Sankofa, go into history, go into we understanding of self, our cultural experiences for almost thousands of years, and draw from that. And that's so we can celebrate certain things since we're there, so we are celebrating certain things, but not at the expense of our mindset. We can celebrate, but not at the expense of our mindset. And people just frivolously celebrate it. I mean, them not conscious of nothing. Them not conscious of Africa. Them not conscious. Them just live them life. Them just live them life. So when Christmas come, them put up all them little jingles and all over the place. And, you know, it's a feel-good moment. A feel-good moment. But that is the danger. That is the danger of perpetuating something and don't even know so you do it. That is the danger. That is what you call, I mean, really, you do something not of your own validation. You not do it because of you, but because of something that you grew up through. So you just do it now frivolously, you just do it without thinking. And it don't make no difference to you, you know. But guess what? It make a difference because it continue and perpetuate the idea that the people them, African people, don't have nothing to call their own. That is what it appear like. This is the cutting edge on IRFM. We're going to play this. Yes. And we want you to know so we play that for our Christian listeners, you know. Yes, we play that for our Christian listeners. We'll tell you, if you come out of where you're there, we'll just tell you if you examine where you're there. You understand? And sometimes, all we talk on the radio is like, nobody never talk them way on the radio yet, so it sounds harsh. But don't check the messenger, check the message, check what we are saying, check what we're saying. We non-apologetically are say that Christmas is one of the biggest lie that has been told. The greatest lie that ever been told. Everybody hear them say the greatest story ever been told. I remember when I go a movie, that story, I think they come along and go watch the greatest story ever told. And then I show you the story about Jesus. Well, it's the greatest lie that ever been told. Because if you look on the Western world, most of the people in the Western world hug it up. And even people who say them conscious of certain things hug up the story. Because how me attack now, me supposed to be blaspheming. Them supposed to tie me up now the square and burn me. Like what all Christians used to do with people who don't believe in what them believe in and them burn them. Like how the Muslim them, if you not believe in what them believe in, and them chop off your head. These are all part of the whole thing because the Muslim them believe in what Jesus Christ said we. The Muslims believe in Jesus Christ. And the story, even though not true, But it's inflated by, because you say, to keep the lie going, you know, you have to inflate the lie. So when you read about this man, to make him be over all others, you have to tell certain things where you know it's no go so, but if you write it in a one book and put a mark on it, then people can't go against it. So when they tell you say a man feed 5,000 people with almost 4 barley loaf and 12 fish, or 12 barley loaf and 4 fish, I think 4 barley loaf and 12 fish. When you hear all them story there, 5,000 people, and when them done feed them, you have more. There's nowhere in your right sense, if a man come to you and say, him go at St. Thomas, and see a man gather up 1 fish and 1 piece of bread, and line up the whole community and feed them in it, there's no way you're going to believe him. There's no way you're going to believe it. You're going to say it's damn foolishness. But guess what? They make you believe it. They make you believe it. Without question it. Because after them don't add things and add powers and add supernatural this and supernatural that, you believe anything. And then them just skip in a little part right name, guilt and fear. You see the guilt and fear thing? That grab you, you know. Yeah, man, that grab you, the guilt and the fear grab you. Because now if you don't believe that, you're going to fear and you're going to feel guilty. Guilt is one of the greatest condemnation a man can put on himself. And them give you the songs, and them give you the dressing, and them give you the all the things them. And if you look at all the things them what people idolize during this time, it's death trap. Check it. The most drunk are them, some people never usually get drunk during this holiday, yeah? Accident, rise up, more buying a go on. There's more party going on now than the whole year put together. And there's no mention of Jesus Christ in it. None. Most of the function them we are keeping at Jamaica between now and the 25th, the 26th of December, don't mention Jesus Christ one time in it. How is that possible? How is that possible? Can you imagine you have Haile Selassie birthday and not mention Haile Selassie? That is a ridiculous, man. You have Haile Selassie birthday and you don't mention Haile Selassie in the birthday. 23rd of July is Emperor Haile Selassie birthday. And you don't mention nothing about Haile Selassie. A madness. So how some of the people that celebrate Christmas, I know most of the people who celebrate Christmas now mention nothing about Jesus. They don't know nothing about Jesus. Because it's a lie. But you keep repeating it, and it becomes real to the zombie, to the man who is in deep, deluded. Because right now, if you be truthful to yourself, and you listen to me, to be truthful to yourself, you think about where you're going to get some money to go at shopping weekend and go out next week. If you be truthful to yourself, you're not think upon Jesus. You're not, at least most people who are listening to me right now, I mean not to everybody, but most people who are listening to me, and even the people them who believe in Jesus, that is not them first priority right now. Them first priority is that them want to make sure say them have enough money for go spend during the holiday. And all the ladies them, the girls them, and the this and that want new ear, new lipstick, new eyeshadow, new new this, new that. The man, them feel it. Them time, yeah. The man, them feel it. I'm there with you, me I tell you. Okay, them hours a night, yeah. Them hours a night, yeah. Okay, here we go. You look all the people, them moving, trying to niggle there. I don't hear no sound about what going down there, but all I love here. All I love here. The first year I don't go. First year I don't go. Okay, continue the journey. Hear the journey, you know.
The Council of Nicaea was an effort by Constantine to control the people through military and through religion. Whoever can control your concept of God has a weapon more powerful than any physical weapon, than any sword, any gun, any atomic weapon. Whoever controls how you relate to the unseen presence of God will not only control you, but can control your children and your children's children. So it was at the Council of Nicaea that the Constantine, this emperor, needed to find a way to consolidate his power, because the people that he conquered in various parts of the world had different religions, different ideologies. And it was at Nicaea where he brought together these theologians, these scholars, if you will, to hammer out one uniform theology that everyone would follow.
And if Constantine could convince people to take Jesus as God on earth and change that he was a human being, then they could take over the control of the Catholic Church and make one. So they invited. And one of the priests was an African known as Arius. Bishop Arius. There's a book called Blacks Who Died for Jesus by Mark Hyman. Gives the story of Arius. Arius now gets word that Constantine knows Arius is coming to dispute this. Because he's saying, how are you going to tell people this? Nobody's going to believe that story. That Immaculate Conception, come on. You know, that's written on the walls of Egypt. That's a mythology. That's an analogy. You're not supposed to believe that story. That's a nice story to live by, that each and every one of us has Jesus within us and every birth is an Immaculate Conception. But there was no one boy born as the Son of God to free. Come on, you can't. Constantine said, look, come on over here. Nicaea, I'm going to talk to you. He found out that he was going to be assassinated. So he fled into Europe with his followers. Arius and his followers became known as the Arians. Wouldn't Hitler have a heart attack if he knew who the real Arians were? They were a bunch of black folk.
Everybody who was worshiping Isis and dealing with mostly a Kemetic religious philosophy, they said, we can't do this. This is ridiculous. This reminds me, there's no man called Jesus Christ. We ain't never heard of him. Well, Jesus Christ will take Jesus, which was the sun god in the West, and we'll take Christos, which was the sun god in the East, and we'll put them together. We'll have a name. And so what did he do? A man named Apollonius of Tyana, at that time, who had studied philosophy in Kemet, was teaching. He was a healer, working miracles. He was a hero at that time. So he became the template for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We're there with you.
American English. The theory gets the idea of it's only a theory.
Yes.
It's someone's idea.
Yes.
Where it is the best scientific explanation, and it does not at all contrast with any Catholic teaching.
Right, okay. But I think they'd probably I certainly would want to make a distinction between acknowledging that on the one hand and trying to bring in something supernatural on the other.
The idea of bringing in something supernatural, I think, is a caricaturization of what religious faith is all about. A scientist or any other human being can accept or deny the supernatural. But what you cannot do is on scientific, strictly methodological scientific grounds, deny the supernatural.
No, I think I agree you can't actually deny it, but isn't it then part of a very large population of things that you can't deny, for which there's no positive evidence? I mean, you can't deny fairies at the bottom of the garden, but neither of us take it seriously. So
positive evidence is a key word here, I think.
But is there any?
Oh, there certainly is positive evidence for the supernatural, but it goes outside the scientific endeavor, because the scientific endeavor, by its methodology, is limited to explaining natural events by natural causes, or if you wish, I don't like to use the word material, but we can use it in this context, material events that we observe by material causes, and it's limited to that. But it is limited to that.
But you've used the word evidence. What sort of evidence are you speaking of?
Well, I'm speaking of the whole traditions from, at least 2,000 years before Christ up until modern times, but the whole of Judaic Christian literature, of Islamic literature, of church traditions that have been passed on since the founding of the church, etc. They are all well-established human endeavors. Now, you can examine those and accept them, or you can examine them and reject them, but they have to be examined. They are clear evidence outside of science. I mean, they're not tricks. Somebody is not tricking us into believing in the supernatural.
No, but they're evidence that in these traditions people thought certain things, but that doesn't mean that what they thought was right. It's hardly evidence just that people for 2,000 years have thought something, is it?
That is correct. That is correct. But if I examine what they've thought over this long period of times, I find that I can, without divorcing my whole rational structure, I can accept that. I do not find that I, as a person and as a scientist, am sort of schizophrenic. That is, I'm being strict about my scientific methodology, but I'm being juvenile. I'm being non-rational. I'm being non-inquisitive when I accept scriptures and church tradition and all that comes with them. I think it's coherent.
Yes. You mentioned both the Christian tradition and the Islamic tradition. These are not the same.
Buddhist. No,
yes. So how do you decide which one? I mean, you're a Catholic priest. Why light upon that tradition rather than any of these other ancient traditions?
It's because of my history. All of us have our personal history, which we struggle with. I mean, I grew up in a very Catholic family, okay? Does that mean that I've been duped? I grew up in a Catholic family. I went to Catholic school.
But if you had been brought up in an Islamic country, you'd be a Muslim, therefore?
Probably so. I mean, we are all subject to our personal histories. I can't deny.
Well, we clearly are, but doesn't that undermine your feeling of validity of the one you just happen to have been born into?
No, because this is a faith statement now. It's my firm belief that God deals with each of us in his own way.
So the Muslim's beliefs which contradict yours are equally valid in his personal history and therefore
That's a very challenging question. I would say there are ingredients of God's speaking to the Muslim tradition, to the Buddhist tradition, to the Catholic tradition. There are elements of God's true revelation to these people in all of those traditions. Each of us wants to make our own claims. I think it's always wrong for any of the traditions to claim that they have the absolute truth, that they are the ones that God really speaks to. I think that's a caricature of what happens, but it has happened in history, of course. We have to face that.
Why don't you accept those things which are universal, like the existence of God? Why do you, in addition, accept those things which would be contradicted by these other traditions, like I don't know whether the virgin birth or some part of the Catholic tradition which is particular to the Catholic tradition?
Because besides, believing in the existence of God, I firmly believe that God has spoken in a very special way okay, through the Jewish tradition up until the birth of his own son. I firmly believe that Jesus Christ is true God and true man, sent to us by God to save us. That's all my religious tradition, and I find that that is not incoherent with my life in general, and certainly not incoherent with my scientific pursuits.
No, not with that, but with the possibility that you might have been brought up in a different tradition and would believe something that really did contradict it.
Yes, okay, we're speaking now, if I could, sort of broaden the discussion, we're speaking about a very short period of human history, much less an extremely short period of cosmic history.
Indeed, yes.
So if we're living in a universe that's 14 billion years old, human civilization, how far back will we date just the first human being? Some fraction of a million years?
Yes, I mean, but that you wouldn't want to call that civilization.
No. And then, religious history, certainly Judeo-Christian tradition from, I would say, roughly 2,000 years before Christ up. And these are very short periods of time. Who knows, in the whole kind of more cosmic universal view of things, that the religious traditions will not eventually unify.
What do you say to fellow Christians who take the book of Genesis literally, and Adam and Eve and 6 days and things like that?
I tend to get very upset by it, any literalist, fundamentalist interpretation of Scripture, because it simply reveals, I hate to be this harsh with people who are real believers and very religious, but It does, because it reveals a very fundamental ignorance of what Scripture is all about. Let me put it this way. Scripture was written between, let's say, 5,000 years, at least the traditions back to the prophet Abraham, the patriarchs, until about 200 years after Christ, which is the Gospel of St. John. That's the span of the Judeo-Christian scriptures. Modern science came to be in roughly, in the 17th century, with Galileo on through Leibniz and Newton. There is no science in Scripture. There can't be, because of that conflict of dates. But they had no scientific mentality. They had no curiosity about how old was the universe. How did various things come to be?
But if the book of Genesis was written by fallible humans who didn't really know anything, in what sense is it God speaking to us?
That's a very good question. We really truly believe that God, working through these various cultures, that these writers were inspired to give the foundations for a religious tradition. What that inspiration means, what it doesn't mean, is God was not dictating to these people. That's clearly absurd to think that. But they were people of faith and a deep religious tradition, and that God was really working with them, through their faith in creating a literature that would be foundational for future religious belief. I mean, what intelligent design, in fact, I call it the intelligent design movement. And what it is, it's a mistaken attempt to try and use science to establish the what I call the implications of science, that is, going beyond science to the philosophical, theological interpretation. So what intelligent design does, it begins with biology. And I'm not a biologist, so you correct me, but they offer various possibilities, blood clotting system in the human being. And various
things. They're effectively looking for gaps that in present scientific understanding,
they
from a scientific point of view, is waiting to be
irreducibly complex biological systems, and you can explain that better than I can, that cannot be explained within the scientific method and require an intelligent designer. And in every case that they have suggested, and Ken Miller has, as you know, analyzed each of these cases, and you have, I'm sure, too. But Ken Miller, within the Catholic tradition, as a biologist, simply says, none of it holds up. We can explain it. If you carefully examine what evolution does, you can explain this.
But do you think then that the soul entered at some point in evolution, Australopithecus, Homo erectus? Is it that kind of question?
I don't believe in the soul.
No.
I mean, if it's a question of belief, I don't believe this idea of at some time in the evolutionary process, God put a soul into a certain
John Paul II implied that is what happened.
Well, Catholic tradition can be interpreted that way, but it's certainly not, it's not a doctrine that I have to believe and I don't believe.
Okay.
I simply think that at best, I like to think about, as Teilhard de Chardin did, about the spirit emerging in this whole evolutionary process, that the whole process is continuous, and that from the material evolution, the spirit arose, however we define the spirit. It came through the evolutionary process. And God, of course, is working with it all along, so I'm not taking God out of the process. In fact, I'm putting him more into it than a God who sort of puts his finger at a magic moment into this evolutionary process.
You do think it arose during... There must have been an animal that didn't have a soul, and then a subsequent animal that did.
Yes, but as all of evolution, as you know better than I do, Richard, all of evolution is continuous. The passage from inorganic to organic, from vegetable to animal, from one kind of animal to another. We can't decide, when this little fish became a reptile.
No,
can we?
No, indeed.
So it's the same with the rest of this process.
But if you believe that the soul survives death, then you would want to say...
Oh, now. I believe I survive death. Now, the mystery of that, I don't believe my soul does. I do.
But
I mean, in the afterlife, I surely want to have a gin and tonic and play some tennis. But how that's going to happen, it's a mystery.
But do you believe chimpanzees survive death?
No.
And a common ancestor? Yeah.
Not necessarily. I can't say they don't, but
so there must
I believe
have been
I do.
A first animal in evolution that survived its own death.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
We always have to ask that question of, was there a first? And yeah, we have to say there was a first, but we don't know when, how.
Okay.
So we have come from apes, if that's true, and that would have to, of course, as you know very well, be more specified. But let's say we've come from apes. That does not make me an ape. I mean that evolution is very creative and brings about and has brought about a human being that is not reducible to its antecedents.
So it's faith and you can't question faith.
That is correct. I cannot. No. It's too deep inside me.
Thank you very much indeed. This was a fascinating conversation.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Yeah, that was a conversation between a Roman Catholic priest and an atheist. A Roman Catholic priest and an atheist talking about evolution and supernatural and soul. The one who was talking mostly was the priest. The one who was asking the questions was the atheist. This is the cutting edge. Yes, this is the cutting edge. The next time you hear upon the cutting edge, it will be what them call another madness again, Boxing Day. Really. It's my birthday. That's what I remember. It's my birthday. So you ever say us or no? We give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. Why you love Karen outside there. I remember her name now, I remember her name now. I can't stop calling her that name. I know me not stop. Me not stop calling her BM, Okay. So, change up the musical vibes. We will give some men to ride through until we come out by the radio when Matrix come in here. And Matrix are come though. I'm here Matrix in the day, I won't come and work with Matrix are working in the morning. Anyway, we are going to play some mental music. Ready for this? Tight tongue Mopsy.